This week in Texas BBQ, we are cooking a whole hog. It's about a 60 to 70 pound hog. We brined it overnight in a solution of water, salt, sugar, and some spices. And this morning at about 5:30 a.m. we rubbed the inside of the hog with brown sugar and got the hog on the pit around 6 a.m. this morning. And today we're going to keep our pit around 250 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and periodically we'll be checking the internal temperature of the thick cuts on our hogs, so the ham and the shoulders, just to get temperatures on them. And ideally we're shooting for around 160 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature.
The pit's set up to be an indirect heat cookery method. We're using indirect heat because we want to cook it a lot longer and a lot slower, so it'll be more tender when it gets done. It'll be more like a pulled pork. It's just cinder blocks we bought from our local hardware store. It's a really cheap setup. It's really easy to set up. Set your bricks around. We have expanded metal that the pig's actually sitting on. Our fire on one end away from the actual pig itself, and then the tin on top to close it in. And today we're using oak wood. We have some wood stacked down here that we're just adding a couple of logs about every hour to keep our fire maintained, but we're using oak. Gives off a good smoke and a good presentation because that hog picks up a lot of that color. We picked about a 60 to 75 pound hog. We're feeding a large group of people, about 30 or so, and so that's the size that we felt like we needed to feed all of those people and have enough food. And we have a decent sized pit here. You could cut the size down and get a smaller hog if you had less people. You need a smaller pit and it would take less time to cook. And likewise, you could get a larger pig if you needed to feed more people, but you'd have to have a bigger setup. But this is more of an intermediate size with an intermediate pit that we have to feed the people that we need to.
Today's hog turned out pretty good. Reached a final endpoint temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit. For the most part, it's real juicy and tender, except for the hams. Got a little bit hotter than we wanted them, but for the most part, everything was very good, very tasty. And the pineapple that we cooked today complemented the pork very well.
As a whole, the class felt like it was a very interesting way to cook an entire pork carcass. They felt like it was unique. They hadn't seen something quite like that before, and they may not have had the space like we had back here to do that. They thought the presentation was very unique, and they really enjoyed it.